Okay, so I was trying to explain everything I did while I was infilling this, and I realized that that was not possible. I could not. I had to be, my soap was getting thick. I needed to work. I couldn't concentrate and talk at the same time. So I'm going to start over. So as you can see, I created an impression mat with a lighthouse scene. Lighthouse, seagulls. So this is actually the third variation of the mat. The first one I did, and I actually made too complicated. I don't know if you can see, like there's the slats in there and all of those divisions, and I realized that it was too much and the birds were way too small. So I went back to the drawing board, updated my template, was almost ready to print it when I was like, nah, I should update this even more, simplify it even more, and make the birds bigger. And I'm glad I did. I could have even made these even bigger because I think these will do okay. I'm not so sure about those. We'll see how they'll come out. But anyways, I created my template. Instead of filling my mold and getting 12 bars, I'm sacrificing the ends and just doing 11. That way I didn't have to worry about this fitting perfectly. There's a little extra room on the end and I don't care. This was a liquid silicone I tried, and then I also tried a putty one. I like this putty mat because it's firmer. I could have infilled stuff and then dropped it in, where this one I had to get the mat in there because there was no way I was going to be able to fill it in and then put the mat in. Like everything would just displace. It was too flimsy. However, I don't know if you can see, it's really hard. Like I didn't infill the voids, there's gaps there. It was much harder to create a clean impression mat with the putty. I've learned a lot, so I think if I did this again I would do better, but I decided ultimately to go with this impression mat. So you can see that that's filled. I have to go finish the rest of the batch now to pour the scene. What I decided to do was, I don't know if this is gonna work, but basically I created the lighthouse, and then I created 2 sailboats of different sizes. My hope is to kind of create a 3D RA, like near and far effect. So you like the bigger one will look like it's closer and the smaller one will look like it's further away. And then the same thing, I made seagulls. I don't know if you can see, it's not really focusing. 2 different sizes, some big and some small. I am not making this upside down, in meaning that this would be the top of the bar, and so I would basically put everything in upside down. I decided that's just too much, asking for too much trouble. This is going to be the bottom of the bar and the design will build up, and that's that. So yeah, let me go finish prepping the color for this, and then I'll come back and hopefully this is worth all the work. Okay, so I have cleaned the dishes, taken a shower, done a few other things, waiting for this to set up so I could pour this final layer. And it's not perfect, but I'm done waiting. So I'm hoping I can not break through. But yeah, this fragrance, Clementine from Nature's Garden, which is a huge favorite of mine and a huge favorite of my customers, is a wonderful soap or fragrance because it doesn't accelerate. So when I wanted to do something like this kind of ombre water, it was awesome. But what that means is that when I needed to pour the sky and I wanted to keep a straight line, that was taking forever to set up. And then I had to wait. But I think it's good enough. So I played with, like, the ombre for the ocean is subtle. It's just a dark blue to a blue. And then this, the sky is just a lighter blue. Same blue, but just less of it. So all the whole blues are all in the same family. So now, can you see the seagulls? I need to make sure I put them in the right way. And hopefully no air gaps. That's the other one. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I thought about kind of swirling or ombreing the sky, and I realized that it probably would be too much. And so I just stuck with a blue, which I think is fine. I think I want the seagulls to stand out, and I think they will against this blue. And I think if I added any other element into the sky, that the seagulls might have got lost a little bit, and I didn't want that. So anyways, I'm just gonna finish pouring this up, and then we'll come back tomorrow and cut it and pray for the best. When I was putting this onto the blanket, my lighthouse started to shift a little bit, and then I had to get it back, and so I really hope that the sailboats didn't shift. I'm really not quite sure what to expect, so I hope the soap gods are being kind to me today, and tomorrow when we cut it, I have sailboats that are not wonky and an impression mat that worked. The moment of truth. So, it looked like a little bit of soap got under there because it wasn't quite flat. So this mold that I'm using is from Soaper Supply, and I really like it. It's heavy duty, keeps its shape, and unmolds really nicely. So I am very curious to take this off and see what I have. look at that. Oh, now I really hope the inside went right. Oh, that's gorgeous. And look, my birds worked. Okay, let me go get my cutter and we'll come back and cut this and see what the inside gives us. The inside. I am so pleased. That is just super cool. And so I knew the lighthouse wouldn't go down because, so if you can see my mat, that in piece, see how it bumped up? So the lighthouse could only go down to that point. It couldn't go all the way down to the bottom. I was okay with that because I did not want, I didn't want to potentially ruin the impression mat. So I was like, that's fine. I love the seagulls. The swirl is obviously a little displaced because I was inserting the lighthouse in the boat. And I think the large and the small gives you some depth to it. So I'll take it. I think it's a win. I just love the top. Ah, that came out. Better than I anticipated. And I'm so glad because it was so much work. There's nothing worse than putting all that work into something and then cutting it and it just not living up to what you wanted. So I will clean up the edges. But yeah, okay, I'll take it. I think it's super cute and pretty. Let me know what you think. I'm very happy. I am very, very happy that it was worth all that effort.